Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's good to see you. This is a reading for Virgo sun signs, or if you have significant Virgo placements in your chart and are needing a masculine energy to work with within yourself, this reading is for you. I was kind of getting at the beginning of this, so I was just sitting here preparing for the reading, that it might particularly be relevant for you if you have Virgo in your Mars or Saturn placements. That might be, because those are both very masculine planet energies to work with. So if you have Virgo in those two placements, like that might be, this reading might be particularly relevant to you. Anyways, so let's get started with the overall context of your reading, which is really lovely. You have this ancient oak spirit, the Strength card, which I love. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck because it talks about like being in sort of like this refuge, right? Which is also coming out here at this next place, especially because it talks about like when you need healing, for example, you can go into this ancient oak spirit. This being at the bottom of the deck, though, I feel like it's something that you're ready to leave, or you're getting ready to leave this place, because this one always shows up. It's like when you're about to leave it, that's when this card comes in. Like you're getting ready to leave a place of refuge that you've been healing within in order to go on the next part of your journey, is kind of how that's feeling, with the purification card. And then this toadstools growth card, which is so interesting because I feel like this is another energy. This is feeling like a person or an opportunity that's like appearing to you, or like showing up in your environment or whatever it is, with this opportunity for growth for you. The mushrooms are really interesting here because that's been showing up as a symbol of like transformation, right? Because if you think of mushrooms, they're decomposers. They take like energies that are dead and then make new life out of it. So it kind of feels like this energy here is like coming through as an energy of growth by like transforming some sort of stagnant energy. Whatever that means for you. So there could be some sort of energy of stagnancy in your reading, or around you in your environment somehow. And like this one's coming in, like offering you an opportunity to transform. That is kind of how that's feeling. That's how I'm reading the mushrooms card, or the toadstools, I should say. So that's the overall context. I feel like though there's this kind of, it's coming through as being kind of like a difficult decision that you're having to make though, Virgo, because if we look at these cards, so you have these two cards, the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, and I feel like this is the reason why you're not necessarily jumping at the opportunity. It's because this is where you are right now, is kind of how it's feeling. The Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, which are both very stable energies. It's talking about harmony. So the Ten of Pentacles is just sort of like whatever you've manifested so far, whatever's surrounding you at the moment, right? Where you are located, perhaps, or like what's around you. Could be like your job. It's just anything that's in your physical environment right now at the moment, some aspect of stability. And coming through with the Six of Cups, I want to say it is meant for your soul purpose, right? It is resonant with you. The Six of Cups, though, is kind of coming through with like memories or especially because you do have the memories card in the actual spread today. Because it's kind of feeling like this is a past energy, or it's like you're looking back on the past. And somehow this might be there's, because the Ten of Pentacles is not necessarily, it is abundant, but I want to say that there's something here that's not necessarily moving about it. It's perhaps there's an energy of stagnancy, or like it's not necessarily new. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And whatever this opportunity is, it's coming through as the Tower, but this Tower in this deck I always describe as being sort of like new resources coming in, right? It's like it's breaking down something that's stable, very, very stable, in order to create new resources in the environment that promotes growth, right? That's what this energy is. Because it's kind of like, again, with mushrooms being sort of a decomposer, they fix nitrogen. They transform nitrogen. So nitrogen is the most abundant gas in our atmosphere, but it's in such a stable form that plants are unable to transform it and use it. But nitrogen is what's in fertilizers, right? That's what promotes plant growth. But nitrogen as it is in this Ten of Pentacles very stable form is not able to be transformed or used by the plant. So there's this energy that's coming in, whatever this lightning tower energy is that's coming in, it's coming in to break down the nitrogen so that you can actually use it for something, is what's coming through. But it might feel a bit like with the thunder, it kind of feels like chaos, which is one of the cards that came through in the actual spread. So that's the overall context. And I want to say that it's causing that kind of energy because of this. The Page of Swords, which always talks to me about having to learn something or learn something new. And it kind of feels like it would potentially put you like off balance, maybe, just because it's something that you would have to perhaps start again or learn or whatever this new thing is that's coming in, this new opportunity. It feels like could be a relationship as well. It's kind of giving that vibe. Like it could be somebody is approaching you with some sort of like new relationship opportunity, maybe. Like they're just coming forward, and it's like it would there's something that's putting you off balance, maybe. And it's kind of coming through with the Seven of Cups and the Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords I always talk about as being sort of like receiving an upgrade on your vehicle, right? It's like you were running, but now you're getting a motorcycle is kind of how that's feeling. Which is what this opportunity feels like, Virgo. I'm going to be completely honest. This opportunity feels like an upgrade from where you are. But for some reason, perhaps like something about nostalgia or the past is perhaps preventing you from jumping at this opportunity. And we'll go through why that is. So if we get to the actual reading part, we have here the Bear Spirit, healing, and then memories, which I feel like is that this is your current energy. I feel like this is what you're doing, Virgo. You are in this place of healing the past is kind of how it's feeling, which is so beautiful. You're healing the past. And I feel like you are, perhaps maybe you're like experiencing the nostalgia, especially because we're going into Mercury retrograde. So this is very pertinent to that. How I experience Mercury retrograde is always like, I either think about past situations or I like see past patterns or whatever. I re-experience the past because from this standpoint, from this future standpoint, from a detached perspective, you can sort of see things, like new things that you haven't necessarily seen before, or reflect on perhaps past decisions that you made and how, if you could, how you might do things differently if you were in that situation or a similar situation again, is kind of how it's coming through. But then the next card out you have here is, well, no, I'm going to continue on with this. You have here the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Coins, which is absolutely your energy, Virgo. This is a very Virgo card for me. I feel like it's talking about abundance, right? Like you have so much abundance around you, or you've created a lot of abundance specifically. Like you have done such a good job of manifesting some aspect of stability where you are, right? It's Your whole reading today feels like right before this, as I was getting ready for it, I was just thinking of the movie Moneyball, which I watched, I don't know, a couple days ago. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that movie. It's on Netflix. You can go watch it. Because I'm seeing you as being like Billy Bean's character, Brad Pitt's character in that story today. Someone who has the ability to transform and change their environment in a way that's absolutely successful, right? It's like, especially because it's coming through with like pentacles, it's kind of feeling like you were able to take very little resources in whatever way that is for you. It doesn't have to be physical, but it could be. You're able to take what little you had and make it extremely abundant, right? Like, so in that story, Moneyball, which is based on a true story, Brad Pitt's character was able to take a very low budget team where he didn't have any ability to like get a lot of like really high value players, let's say, but he was still able, because of his mentality, his ability to think differently and outside of the box kind of thing, he was able to take that sort of not abundant situation and make it into a very highly successful team. That's the overall theme of your energy today, Virgo. So what's coming out next for you? This is what the opportunity is. It's feeling like. First of all, you have the Elves' Playfulness, which I love. I love this card so much. And then you have the Sun and the 10 of coins, right? So you're going from the 9 of coins to the 10 of coins. Again, 10 of Pentacles twice, but I feel like this is a different 10 of Pentacles. Because if you watch the end of Moneyball, like if you watch at the end of Moneyball, he's the GM of the Oakland A's, which is a very low budget team at that time. I don't know if that's still true today, but at the end of that story, because of the success that he found, he didn't win the World Series, but he got far enough with what he had, right? That's what this is feeling like. Perhaps because it's like you're at the 9 of Pentacles, or perhaps it feels like the 10 of Pentacles to you. It feels like you've gone as far as you can by yourself, which is really interesting. You've gotten as far as you can with what you have, but it's like this one's coming in. They're coming in as being sort of like, at the end of the story Moneyball, he gets an offer from the Boston Red Sox. Which if you know anything about baseball, right, Boston Red Sox are like one of the like the legacy kind of teams, right? Even if they're not playing really well, it's still Boston, right? It's they have such a heavy influence, I want to say. That's kind of what this is feeling like. And it's like this one here, this 10 of Pentacles is coming in, perhaps another team or something like that. They're like, because I'm kind of seeing this as being like how they're seeing you in the situation. They're seeing you as being this incredibly playful kind of energy where it's like, we want you, Virgo, to come play for our team, is what this is feeling like. As the general manager, right? Like not as a player, as like a leader. They want you to come and be the leader in order to transform their team or their environment. That's what this is feeling like. It's so incredible because it's like the Sun. They see all of this good work that you've done, right? It's so incredible. And what's really important about that, the why the story Moneyball is coming in, is because when this offer came in to Brad Pitt's character, when he got the offer, we want you to come play be the general manager for the Red Sox. He was in the midst of feeling the loss of his team because his team didn't make the Oakland A's at that time did not make it to the World Series, right? They were eliminated in the playoffs, right? So he was kind of in this energy of disappointment, right? Like he didn't make it as far as he wanted to. There was this healing energy about him. He wasn't in an energy of success. He was in an energy of like, I failed at something. I failed at something. I failed to whatever, reach my goal. But how they're seeing you, how Virgo, how this offer is coming in, they're seeing you as incredibly successful. They're like, what you did with that team, with the resources that you had, was incredibly, almost like miraculous. You pulled off something incredible, is what they're saying to you. With the resources that you had, you were able to take this pile of rubbish, for lack of a better word, I'm sorry if that's harsh, and turn it into this field of watermelons. You made it incredibly abundant because of what you did, or what your skills were. And it's like, they want you to play for their team, Virgo. But I want to say it's because you're in this energy here. You're in this healing place, right? You're perhaps going back on the past. What could I have done better? What could I have done better so that it didn't end up in a failure, or it didn't end up like, so that we could have won the World Series instead of it being sort of like the loss, right? It's feeling like this, the storm spirit, chaos, right? It's kind of like this energy or this offer. It's kind of, perhaps it's like feeling like the wrong time, right? It's like, because you're in this energy of healing, of like trying to perhaps look back and see what you could have done better, which I'm wanting to say, Virgo, it's totally fine. Like, take your time with that. But there's because how I'm feeling as the reader, how I'm feeling in that is, if to continue on, if you haven't seen Moneyball, I know that I'm just like explaining the whole movie to you, but in that story, when Brad Pitt's trying to decide, should I take the offer from the Red Sox, or should I stay with Oakland and like try again, basically. Jonah Hill's character, he's like sort of the logical, the numbers guy in that story. He shows him this clip of a minor league player in their organization, and it's like this one player, his biggest fear was getting to second base. This is how Jonah Hill explains it to him. This player's biggest fear is getting to second base. But there's one at bat where he hits the ball really hard. And so because he hits the ball so hard, he's like, okay, I'm going to try and make it to second. But what happens is when he's rounding first, he ends up tripping. He ends up tripping in front of everyone, basically. And so his worst fear basically has come true. That's what this is feeling like. There was some sort of loss, a feeling of loss, I want to say. Where it's so he's scrambling now. He's panicking and trying to make it back to first base, right? So that he's safe at least. But then what ends up happening in that story is that everyone around him, like the umpire, the other players, are laughing. The reason why they're laughing is because this player actually hits a home run in that story. This is how Jonah Hill is explaining it to Brad Pitt, that this player, you, Virgo, have actually hit a home run in whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever project that you've just gone through, or whatever it is, something that you're looking back on, I want to say, that is feeling like a loss to you, or that there was some mistake made, or something that you could have done better. But how this one's looking at you and your story, or how I'm seeing it, even how I'm seeing it as an outside perspective, is that you hit a home run, Virgo, but you're still at first base, is what this is feeling like. So it's like, why are you still at first base? And that's what this energy is coming through as. It's like, this one's telling you, Virgo, you hit a home run. You should be running around the bases. That's what this is feeling like. Anyways, this is what I feel like the whole point of this reading is like, there's, to translate this more into like a real life example, I feel like this is the offer that's being made to you, this wisdom owl spirit. They're waiting for you to realize that you've hit a home run, because it's kind of like, I feel like perhaps they've already said something, or it doesn't feel like they're necessarily saying anything, or just like they've put the offer on the table perhaps, but it's like they're waiting for you to respond. That's kind of how this energy comes through with today. They're waiting for you to respond is kind of how it's feeling. They've given you the offer. It's like perhaps they're just waiting for you to look up and see that you've hit a home run, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is, because it's kind of feeling like the next couple of cards here. You have the Owl Spirit Wisdom, and then the Aspen Spirit Courage, and I feel like that's what this is talking about, because I feel like taking this offer feels like it would be a really big step, is what that's feeling like with the Aspen Spirit Courage, right? It's like, because it's coming through with chaos, right? It's coming through as being this lightning strike, or potentially, because the way that it's looking on the table, it's kind of like this, like you're focused on here, but it's like this energy feels like it would be like your back is exposed, right? There's something about an element of fear is kind of how that's feeling. Anyways, and then here, if we continue on, because you have here the two, okay, so here, it's like, there's so many cards. The Knight of Swords, again, which is, again, just emphasizing that whole idea of this would be an upgrade, right? Going from the Oakland A's, as an example, which was a very low-budget team, to the Boston Red Sox is kind of like a really big step up. It's an increase in abundance. It also gives you all of this sort of like abundance, resources, and legacy with the Hierophant coming in. Something that is so long-standing, right? Like you would be part of perhaps like a bigger organization or a bigger community, or just surrounded by a community that has a lot of abundance. And I feel like there perhaps is this fear here, especially with the Page of Cups coming out next, because this one I see it is absolutely an elevation, right, Virgo? Like whatever this offer is that's coming in for you, or this idea or whatever it is, it would be a step up. And I feel like perhaps there's this fear, again, with that story of like that player who is afraid to go to second base, is that perhaps there's a fear of like falling, is what that's looking like, the Page of Cups, because it's kind of like when you're at the low budget team, the Oakland A's, it's kind of like there's nowhere, you can't make that situation worse, right? Like it's like, but if you were playing for Boston, for example, perhaps there's this energy, especially because it's coming through that story of Moneyball, that maybe you're feeling like if you played for Boston, there's a potential that you would bring the whole team down with you. Which for me as the reader, I'm just like, you hit a home run. I'm just going to leave it like that. You hit a home run. That's what this is feeling like. And it's kind of like you're staying at first when you could be running around the bases, is what that's feeling like. Okay, here. And then you have here the Two of Wands, which is obviously feeling like the indecision, right? Being split, which is interesting because you also have the Two of Swords. I feel like what this is, I feel like you're seeing this situation as this, is like, I could just stay where I am, which you can. I feel like you can. There's never, because in that story Moneyball, which is endlessly frustrating to me, this is my bias though, so just, I'm sorry if that's too aggressive, but it's feeling like in that story, Brad Pitt's character, which is a true person, an actual person, he rejected the offer from the Boston Red Sox for many different reasons, and I'm not putting any sort of judgment on that. Maybe I am a little bit, but it's kind of feeling like because he really wanted to win with Oakland, right? For that, and also because his family, his daughter lived in California, so moving to Boston would be a big distance to cross, right? I feel like what this is saying though here is, if you look at this Two of Swords, because I feel like you, Virgo, are seeing your situation as this, right? It feels pretty good here, even if you're one foot in, one foot out kind of thing. It's still not that like at least it's sunny, right? But how they're seeing your situation is this. You're surrounded by fire and this random creature in the background, right? And it's like, you're incredibly strong. You have held on to this position of strength. And it's kind of like, but this energy here is kind of like water coming in to put out this fire. That's what this situation feels like. You have the sun twice. You have like all of this energy as well. The 10 of Cups, the Emperor, the 8 of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. Whatever this opportunity is for you, it would be something that is collaborative. And as the Emperor, it's kind of feeling like this is coming through as Boston Red Sox today. I'm sorry if you don't watch baseball or care about baseball, but this is just how the message is coming through. That this opportunity would put you in the position as the Emperor, right? It's an upgrade, absolutely, from where you are now. Coming through with all of this fast movement, 10 of Cups, which is like emotionally fulfilling to you, and the opportunity to collaborate. Because I feel like where you are, Virgo, feels like you have been the whole reason why your environment is feeling so abundant. You are the important factor, but it also feels like you've been carrying a lot of other people's kind of energy, right? Like you've been transforming other people's energy, or you've been carrying the team, basically, is what that's feeling like. You've been carrying the team. Whatever this opportunity is, it would be an expansion. I'm just going to leave it like that. It would be an expansion. It would bring in much more opportunities, much more resources, much more everything. And it's kind of just like, why are you still standing on first base? I'm going to leave it like that, Virgo. We're going to go to the extended and talk about what else you may need to know about this situation. If you're interested in that, you can find the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing, liking, or leaving a comment. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.